After- Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sir Noel. I'm your speaker for the day. And my topic is about some contextualization in English. Okay, but before we proceed, let's think about it. What do you know about curriculum contextualization? What is localization? What is indigenization? And why do we need to contextualize our curriculum? In this topic, we will answer that question. For now, we have current initiatives in contextualizing education at various levels. Number 1, in K-12, we have contextualization in MTB and senior high school. And on the programs, we have IPED, Indigenous People Education, Muslim Education, SPED, and Special Interest Programs, and also the ALS. And in the learning areas, for example, in AP, we have regional profiles, and art and musics, we have cultural artistic expression by regions. And here are the K-12 Philippine Basic Education Curriculum Framework. Here are the core texts of the K-12 Philippine Basic Education Curriculum, the philosophical and legal basis, the nature of the learner, needs of the learner, and needs of the national and the features of the K-12 curriculum. First is the learner-centered, inclusive, and research-based. And inclusive and culture-responsive and culture-sensitive, integrative and contextualized, relevant, and responsive. And also standard and competence-based, seamless, and decongest. Also flexible, ICT-based, and bakit nga ba tayo mayroong contextualization? Ito po yung mga basis natin or policy basis about contextualization of our curriculum. The K-12 curriculum framework highlights the fundamental importance of context in shaping the curriculum and subsequently the teaching-learning process. Naaayon po yan sa Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013 or yung RA 10533 in the Section 5. Here as stated, the DepEd shall adhere to the following standards and principles in developing the Enhanced Basic Education Curriculum. In the letter D, contextualized and global. Another policy basis is the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013. The DepEd shall adhere to the following standards and principles in developing the Enhanced Basic Education Curriculum. In the letter H, flexible enough to enable and allow schools to localize, indigenize, and enhance the same based on their respective educational and social context. The production and development of locally produced teaching materials shall be encouraged, and approved of these materials shall be devolved to the regional and division education units. And another policy basis from the Governance of Basic Education Act of 2001, also known as RA 9155 in Section 2, encourage local initiatives for improving the quality of basic education. The values, needs, and aspirations of a school community are reflected in the program of education. Schools and learning centers shall be empowered to make decisions on what is best for learners they serve. Our key concepts: contextualization, localization, and indigenization. Ano po ba ang meaning nitong mga ito? Contextualization refers to the educational process of relating the curriculum to a particular setting, situation, or area of application to make the competencies relevant, meaningful, and useful to the or to all learners. The degrees of contextualization may be described and distinguished into the following: the localization and indigenization. Localization. It refers to the process of relating learning content specified in the curriculum to local information and materials. Localization, it's the learning content plus the local information and using the local materials. Yun po examples of localization. Examples used in lesson starts with those in the locality. Name, situation, setting needed to give context to test question or problem-solving exercise are those of the immediate community. Local materials are used as often as possible in making instructional materials. Local stories are used in the language learning areas. Translating a story written in another language to the language of one's learners for use in MTB, MLE. Indigenization refers to the process of enhancing curriculum competencies, education resources, and teaching learning process in relation to the biogeographical, historical, and socio-cultural context of the learner's community. Indigenization may also involve the enhancement of the curriculum framework, curriculum design, and learning standards of subject areas, guided by the standards and principles adhered to by the national curriculum. Here are the examples of localization and indigenization of the curriculum in mathematics. The competency is to visualize the ratio of given numbers with the code M5NS-2H-2.2. In localization, use easily observable of ratio in the community. For example, 1 jeep, 4 wheels, 1 carton, 2 wheels, 1 tricycle, 3 wheels, or depending on what is most common in the community. For the indigenization, community activities or cultural practices that inherently use the concept of ratio. For example, bringing the products to the market entails using a carabao carrying sacks, or 1 carabao is 2 number of sacks. Example of contextualization of the curriculum in English. For example, the competencies fill out forms accurately with the code EN5WC-2J-3.7. Okay, you can use easily observable forms in the community. For example, the barangay cedula. Okay, the major curriculum thrust of the K-12 contextualization, localization, and indigenization are degrees of levels of doing contextualization. When we localize, we do not necessarily indigenize. But when we indigenize, we localize. Kasi po, kapag tayo ay naglo-localize, hindi naman natin kailangan na talaga na gamitin yung mga biogeographical ng ating community. When we say localize, ginagamit natin dito yung mga available materials or learning materials in the community. Okay, so why do we need to contextualize our curriculum? This by helping students to relate the educational task with their knowledge and everyday experiences. Curricular contextualization facilitates the linking of the theory and practice. Furthermore, it allows students to give meaning and value to what they learn in school. our output. Here is the link where you can answer our output for this day. Thank you and God bless.